Now we have some rules of divisibility. The rules of divisibility make it, they have a wide variety of applications, and they make it really easy to to solve questions. The rules of divisibility are learned for some particular numbers, not for all numbers. And these are those numbers. So the rule of divisibility for 2 is that it should be an even number. Of course, we know that. But what that translates to is that the last digit should be 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So any number that has the last digit as 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 is divisible by 2. And that is the test for divisibility. You might have a long number, a very long number. To check if that number is divisible by 2, you just check the last number. If the last number is either of these digits, that number is divisible by 2. It's an even number, right? For 3, the test for divisibility is that the sum of the digits should be divisible by 3. So if you have a number, say 143, and you want to test if that number is divisible by 3 or not, you just add the digits. You add 1 plus 4 plus 3, which gives you 8. Now we know that 8 is not divisible by 3, so this number is not divisible by 3. Another number, for example, 81. You add 8 and 1, you get 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so 81 is divisible by 3, right? So this is the test of divisibility by 3. And we have a similar test for 9 as well. That the sum of digits should be divisible by 9. In this case, it should be divisible by 3. In this case, it should be divisible by 9. So if you take a number, say 786, right? You add 7, 8, and 6. What you get is 14 plus 7, which is 21. Now 21 is not divisible by 9. So 786 is not divisible by 9. You take another number, 81. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 is divisible by 9. So 81 is divisible by 9. This is the test of divisibility by 9. Now we come to test of divisibility by 4, which is that the last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. So whatever number you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then at the end you have 56. So this number should be divisible by 4. We know 56 is divisible by 4. So this number is also divisible by 4. And we have a similar test for 8. The last 3 digits should be divisible by 8. So if you have the number as 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then at the end you have 864. You check for the last 3 digits, which is 864. The number 864 should be divisible by 8 for this whole number to be divisible by 8. So 864 we know is divisible by 8. We can check 8 ones are 8, and then 8 is 64. So this number is divisible by 8. So this whole number is divisible by 8. So we have similar tests for 4 and 8. For 4 we need to check for the last 2 digits, and for 8 we need to check for the last 3 digits. Now we come to 5. For a number to be divisible by 5, the last digit should be 0 or 5. If you look at the table of 5, the last digit would always be 0 or 5. So for any number to be divisible by 5, in order to check for divisibility by 5, you just have to check for the last digit, and it should be 0 or 5. Now we come to 6. For a number to be divisible by 6, it should be divisible by 2 and 3 both. So first you check for divisibility by 2, then you check for divisibility by 3. If it is not divisible by either of these or by both of these, then that number is not divisible by 6. It has to be divisible by both of these. You check for divisibility by 2 by checking the last digit. It should be 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And you check the divisibility by 3 by adding the digits. The sum should be divisible by 3. For example, if we have a number like 636, you need to check if this number is divisible by 6 or not. Firstly, you check for divisibility by 2. The last digit is 6, so this number is divisible by 2. For divisibility by 3, you add 6 plus 3 plus 6, which is 15. 15 is divisible by 3, so it is also divisible by 3. Since 636 is divisible by both 2 and 3, this number is divisible by 6. So the test for divisibility by 6 is that it should be divisible by both 2 and 3. For divisibility by 7, you double the last digit and subtract from the number formed by the remaining digits. The number so formed should be divisible by 7, and this can be done progressively. Now what this means is that, say you have a number 781. You double the last digit. The last digit is 1, and you double that, which gives you 2. You subtract that from the number formed by the remaining digits. The remaining digits form the number 78. So you subtract 2 from 78. This gives you 76. Now you check for divisibility of 76 by 7. We know this is not divisible by 7. And so this number 781 is not divisible by 7. Taking another example, say you have 1 4 and then you have 2 1, right? For this number, you have the last digit as 1, you double that and you subtract it from the number that is formed by the remaining digits, which is 142. So this gives you 140. Now 140 is divisible by 7. So the number 1421 is divisible by 7. Now here we have a statement that says can be done progressively. Now what that means is that, suppose, now in this case this number is 140, which we can easily say that this number is divisible by 7. But what if we had another number? After doing this operation on this number was something else, and after doing this operation on this number, if we had gotten another number, a complicated number, which we didn't want to find, test for divisibility by 7, then what we could have done is we could have tested for the divisibility of this number by 7 using the same method. So in case of 140, if we do the same method, we have 14 minus twice of 0, which is 0. So twice the last number, which is 0, and the number that is formed by the remaining digits, which is 14. You do this operation and you get 14. 14 we know is divisible by 7. So this is divisible by 7, and so this is divisible by 7, and so this original number is divisible by 7. So this method can be done progressively. 8 we have looked at, 9 also we have looked at, 10. 10 is pretty simple. The last digit should be 0. Any number that is divisible by 7 has last digit as 0. So the number is divisible by 10. Now divisibility by 11. For that you need to sum all the digits at even places and those at odd places. And you need to take the difference of those two numbers, and the difference should be divisible by 11. For example, you have a number as 1331. You sum all the digits at even places. These are the even places. You sum these digits, you get 4. And then you sum the digits at odd places, you get 4. So you have one sum as 4, the other sum as 4. You subtract these two numbers, 4 minus 4, which gives you 0. So if you get either 0 or a number that is divisible by 11, that means that this original number is divisible by 11. Taking another example, suppose that we have 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, and we want to see if this number is divisible by 11 or not. So you sum the numbers at even places, which are 2 and 7. So the sum is 9. And then you sum the numbers at odd places, which is 1 plus 5 plus 9, and the sum is 15. You do 15 minus 9, which is 6. Now 6 is not divisible by 11, and so this number is not divisible by 11. So you sum all the digits at even places. Basically you are summing digits at alternate places. So you will have two sums at the end, and then you sum the other numbers at alternate places. You take the difference of those two sums. The difference should either be 0 or should be a multiple of 11. Now test for divisibility by 12. For any number to be divisible by 12, it should be divisible by both 3 and 4. For 3, we know that the sum of digits should be divisible by 4, and sorry, by 3, and for 4 we know that the last two digits should be divisible by 4. So if we perform these two tests on any number, and if that number is divisible by both 3 and 4, it has to be divisible by 12. If it is not divisible by either of 3 and 4, then it is not divisible by 12. Now we have 25. For a number to be divisible by 25, the last two digits should be 00, 25, 50, or 75. If you look at the table of 25, you will have either 00, or you will have 25 or 50 or 75 at the end. So for divisibility by 25, you just have to check the last two digits, and those two digits should be either 00, 25, 50, or 75. That is the test for divisibility by 25. Now these tests have to be remembered, and based on these tests we get a lot of questions. Different varieties of questions could be made. Let us look at some of those. So this question says that a number 342 PQ5, where P and Q are single digit non-negative integers. So basically single digit, that is the single digit, the non-negative integers. So they are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on till 9, because they are non-negative, so can't be 0. And P plus Q is less than 10. And this number is divisible by both 25 and 9. We have to find the values of P and Q. This is a very common type of question that we have based on tests for divisibility. So this number has to be divisible by both 25 and 9. Now if you look at this number 342 PQ5, you can either start with test for divisibility by 25 or with that for 9. For 9, if you see, you'll have to sum these digits. So basically 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus P plus Q plus 5. That will give you P plus Q plus 9, 14. So this number should be divisible by 9. We have two variables over here, P and Q. We don't know what P could be or what Q could be. So we start with divisibility by 25. In such numbers, we start with divisibility with a number for which we would get a value. We would get the value of at least one of these variables. So we test for divisibility by 25. For divisibility by 25, we check the last two digits. They should either be 00 or 25 or 50 or 75. Now this can't be 00 because we already have a 5 over here, and it can't be 50 because we already have a 5 over here. So Q is either 2 or 7, right? So the number is either 342P25 or 342P75. So one of these is what the number is. Now we also know that P plus Q. So in this case, Q is 2. So P plus 2 plus 14 is the sum of digits for divisibility by 9. And in this case, we have P plus 7 plus 14. This is P plus 21, and this is P plus 16. For this to be divisible by 9, the value of this could be 18, or the value could be 27, or it could be a higher number such as 36. However, for the value to be 27, P has to be 11, which P can't be because P and Q are single digit non-negative integers. So they are between 1 and 9, inclusive of 1 and 9. It can't be 27, it can't be 36. So P plus 16 has to be 18 if Q is 2. So this means that P is equal to 2. And for the sum, and if Q is 7, then the sum of digits is P plus 21, which could be 27, or it could be 36, or a high number. It can't be 36 because in that case P will be 15, which it can't be. So P plus 21 has to be 27, which means that P has to be 6. Now we have the number as either 3, 4, 2, P is 2, 2, 5, or the number is 3, 4, 2, P is 6, and then 7, 5. Here P is 2, Q is 2, and here P is 6 and Q is 7. Now either of these could be the numbers, but in the question we are given another limitation, which is that P plus Q is less than 10. Here P plus Q is 4, here P plus Q is 13. We are given that P plus Q has to be less than 10, so it can't be this. So these are the values of P and Q. So the answer is 3422225. This is the number. So the way to do these questions is to start with test for divisibility with one of the two numbers, and then find the value of one variable, and with that, using the test for divisibility for the other number and using any other restrictions that you might have in the question, we find the value of the other variable. Now again in this question we have a similar kind of a question here. It says this number is divisible by both 8 and 9, and we have to find the values of a and b. Now for it to be divisible by 9, we know that the sum of the digits should be divisible by 9, in which case we'll have an equation in a and b. We don't know the values of either a or b, so we'll have two variables and one equation. So we start with test for divisibility by 8. So for this number to be divisible by 8, the last three digits should be divisible by 8. That is 8, 6b should be divisible by 8. For this to be divisible by 8, the value of b should be 4. There is no other value that it can take. 861 is not divisible by 8. 862 is not divisible by 8. So the only value that b could have is 4. So the divisibility test for divisibility by 8 gives us the value for b. So our number is 786, a 86, and b is 4. Right. Now we test for divisibility by 9. So the sum of digits is 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus a plus 8 plus 6 plus 4. Right. This is 10, 18, 24, 32, 30. So this is basically 39 plus a. So this has to be divisible by 9. For this to be divisible by 9, the value of a should be, the value of this sum should be 45. It can't be any other number. It can't be 54, because in that case a will be a two-digit number, which it can't be, and it can't be negative also. So it has to be 45, which gives us the value of a as 6. So a is 6, 786, 6864. This is what our number is. Right, a is 6 and b is 4. This is the number. So again, if you see in this question, we don't start with divisibility by 9, because in that case we would have two variables, because we are dealing with sum of digits. So we start with 8, because if we test for divisibility by 8, we just have to check for the last three digits, and the last three digits only have one variable, which is b. So we find the value of b, and then we test for divisibility by 9. Let us go to the next question. This question says a number when divided by 380 leaves a remainder of 46. Find the remainder when the same number is divided by 19. So we have a number a, and when divided by 380 it leaves a remainder of 46. So we know that dividend is basically the number that we are dividing, and divisor is basically 380, the number we are dividing by. So we know this equation, dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. This equation always holds true. In this case, the dividend is not given. Let us assume the dividend to be a, and divisor is 380 because we are dividing by 380. It leaves, uh, it gives us some quotient that we are not given, and it leaves a remainder of 46. Right now we are required to find the remainder when the same number a is divided by 19. The way to look at these questions is a is 380 into q. 380 into q has to be divisible by 19 because 380 is divisible by 19. 380 is a multiple of 19. 380 is 19 into 20, and this number multiplied by q plus 46. So this number is divisible by 19 because one of the numbers that we are multiplying is 19. 19 into 20 into q is always divisible by 19. Right. So this number is divisible by 19. So we don't have any remainder here. So we need to check for the remainder over here. 46 when divided by 19 gives the remainder of 8. So 8 is the remainder that you get when you divide this number by 19. Right. So 8 is the answer.